Because obedience is proven best when you don't understand. If I tell my child, clean up the room, you don't get to ask me why. I don't have to explain to you, we got company coming over and we got this. No. I said, clean the room. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Obedience is better than understanding. And God is trying to teach us to obey him and to trust in the fact, get this, that pruning is not punishment. That you are not cursed because you had a bad day. That God is not punishing you just because you're going through suffering. They feel the same, but they're not the same. The intention is quite different between pruning and punishment. Pruning is the reward of having something of value. It's how God lets you know that you're valuable. He wouldn't prune you if you were a dying bush. Nobody prunes a dying bush. He prunes you because you're fruitful. But pruning feels like punishment, and if you're not careful, you will feel like you're punished, and if you will buy that you're punished, then you will believe that you're cursed. God doesn't cut to kill us. He cuts to heal us. I had to trust God when they cut in my back 4 inches and operated on my back, and I had to learn how to walk again. I had to trust God as I preached on Sunday mornings and couldn't walk. I went to Washington, D.C. and preached. I had to lay on the floor in the back of the church. The pain was so great. And then when they got ready to introduce me, I came out. And I preached because when the anointing was on me and the Spirit started moving and the energy got up, it was like I had no pain. I only made one mistake. I sat down after I got through preaching instead of leaving. And when I sat down, I couldn't get up. And there in front of everybody, they had to help me up out of my seat. The one who preached power and anointing and glory couldn't get out of his chair. And this oxymoron between strength and weakness, between victory and being paralyzed, is the human experience. Truth and trust hold hands. They hang out together. We need both to see the crushing from God's divine perspective. We have to look at it from God's perspective to avoid our limited view. We cannot see what God can see. We can see to the corner, but God can see around the corner. If Jesus went to the cross, if Paul got locked up in jail, if Joseph got thrown into a pit, if the woman was there with the issue of blood, why not me? So when you face a dilemma and you run into a crisis and you're trying to figure out what in the world is going on in my life, and it feels like you're going backwards instead of forward, and you trusted the wrong person, or you made the wrong decision, or the business didn't turn out like you think, and you have a setback, you have to remember a setback is a setup for a comeback. And you can't go into the valley of despair and throw yourself a pity party and luxuriate in the pain of your own self-indulgence and ask God, why you? When God spared not his son, why would he spare you? The question is never why me, it's why not me. I remember our ministry was thriving, and then in 2008, the economy collapsed. I had to lay off 40 people. I thought, why me, Lord? He said, why not you? Other people are going through the same thing. Why not you? The Lord was teaching me how to lead, how to make decisions, how to make tough choices. Anybody can make easy choices as a leader, but in order to make tough choices and have the spine and the guts to be able to make a tough choice that people don't like, and they're murmuring about it and they're complaining about it, but it was necessary to do it, and it fell my lot to be able to make those kinds of choices. Why me? Why not me? To him whom much is given, much is required. You can't have the much given and then avoid the much required. You have to make the tough decisions, and sometimes they are not popular. It's not popular, but it's purposeful. And in the midst of seeking God's purpose, you have to understand that He has a plan for your life. Trouble comes to us all. But what I'm glad about is that trouble doesn't last always. Trouble doesn't last always. The art of life is to make sure that you don't get out of trouble and be left with trauma. Because trouble has an expiration date, but trauma can last for 30 years.